Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time for the unfiltered news from the reality zone, where political correctness is not spoken here. Compiled by G. Edward Griffin. This is for May 3rd through May 9th. Here's the things to pay attention to: camera, speaker, star, and asterisk. Okay, let's get on to the comic strip for this week. And that is... Oh, don't go too far. Our oligarchs are better than your oligarchs. Between the two states going on here. Anyways, headlines that you may have missed. Russian President Putin made his first visit to Crimea since its annexation, and also authorized Russian military drills near Ukraine's border after announcing that Russian troops are being withdrawn. These actions followed his request to pro-Russian separatists to postpone their referendum to secede from Ukraine. To better understand these mixed messages, read the analysis by Zero Hedge in this edition of Unfiltered News. It will put everything into perspective. WSJ, May 9th. Next article. Video. Vermont passed a GMO labeling law that is expected to influence other states to do the same. The state is building a legal fund in anticipation of lawsuits from Monsanto and DuPont, the two evil corporates. Currently, there are 63 labeling bills in 23 states that are in play. By contrast, Michigan passed a law allowing local governments to ban any animal on farms of 80 acres or less. Oh yeah, they're taking away mom and pops left and right. They just want the corporates in there. You only get your eggs from the corporation. And if you ever seen the documentary Food Inc., you'll understand how horrible that is, the way they raise the animals and everything. They're not grazed on land outside of a building. They're inside a building until from birth to death, basically. And they don't never get to see sunlight or know what it is to walk on the yard or acreage of anything. It's horrible. Infowars, May 9th. Okay. Dr. Michael J. Frankel, a senior scientist at Penn State Applied Research Laboratory, told the Congressional Committee that X-class solar flares are in our future. A massive flare will erupt at some point and will impact the Earth with devastating results. Well, yeah. If it were to happen tomorrow, the power grid would be destroyed for months or years. He said it is foolish not to harden the grid against such that inevitability or inevitability. It's going to happen. And if they haven't triple grounded all these giant transformers that they use to transfer the energy from point A to point B's, it will burn them out. They will short, and it will take a year or so to build another one of that size. And so this is not, they got to harden the electric grid, and that just means adding more grounds. That's all it is adding more grounds to it. Even putting a ferrite cage around some of these transformers to protect them from it. But you know how it is. They're not going to do that. Oh no. Why would they? It's to their advantage if they send us back to the Middle Ages and they have all the technology in the underground bunkers to come back on the surface and be gods. What are you thinking? May 8th, from Time. New York. Nassau County police officers are under investigation after they were caught on video that corroborates a victim's account of being beaten without provocation. It appears that the officers were stalking the man to punish him for recording a previous arrest. Infowars, May 8th. Yeah, now they're going after people innocently, legally recording police action in public, which you're absolutely allowed to do. I don't care what they say. You're allowed to do that because these police officers work for us. They're paid by our tax dollars. So we're allowed to record them and make note of how they handle a situation. Period. All right. just wrong how they become Nazified or even Gestapofied police. I mean, a lot of them wear black uniforms now. All they need is the armbands with some type of symbol on it to show what they are. Oh, I forgot. They do have that. They're called patches, though. Anyways, Donetsk, Ukraine, banking system has shut down because the town is under siege and it is too dangerous for employees to go to work. Without banking services, the local economy has collapsed. Cash is king. Lesson: have cash in reserve outside the bank. Zero hedge, May 8th. That's right. You should have none of your money in the bank except what you need to pay your bills. And that's all you should have in the bank. Whatever it is to pay your bills. Anything else outside of that should be taken out and put wherever it's safe for you. And that's the way it should be. I'm sorry. You can't trust these banksters that are running the world governments. Anyways, Obamacare insurance exchanges in Massachusetts and Oregon are going broke. It should be noted that Massachusetts' program was the model for Obamacare. Canada Free Press, May 7th. It's failing. It's already failing. It was meant to fail. It was made to fail. It was made to take money out of your pocket and put it in specialty pockets of government and insurance companies. And that's all it was about. And if you haven't seen that, then you're not paying attention. You gotta start paying attention or you're going to get hoodwinked. Keep an eye around your surroundings, basically. Video. Russia. President Putin is asking for the pro-Russian separatists in Ukraine to delay their secession referendum that was scheduled for this weekend because it could undermine Ukraine's presidential election slated for the end of the month. This is a turnaround for Putin, who now is advocating diplomacy instead of confrontation. He is removing Russian troops from the border. Reuters, May 7th. U.S. Scientists have engineered a new life form using created nucleotides to alter the genetic code in E. coli bacteria. Creating new life forms could have far-reaching disastrous effects, but the Frankensteins of the world are entirely free to create their monsters. There is zero oversight in the field of synthetic biology. The Verge, May 7th. And it is. They're totally... Monsanto and the rest of them just go out and play God. And that's what they're playing. They're playing God. Let's create a new life form. Let's create a new germ. Let's do all this stuff. Not knowing that it could wipe out over half of the planet's population within a short order. And there's nothing they could do about it because they don't have nothing to stop it. Set up. I mean, nothing set up to counteract whatever they're doing. They're just playing with fire. And they're going to burn us all with it. Anyways, Star, something to keep for future reference. Mexican marijuana farmers have stopped planting the crop because they cannot compete with legal marijuana grown in the U.S. The drug cartels and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, are bemoaning the loss of business due to legalization. Mother Jones, May 7th. And that should be a wake-up call right there. It's almost as if, it's actually proving a point. The drug trade over the border goes down, and the only people getting hurt are the criminals and the law enforcements because they were making buku bucks off of this sweet deal between each other, having this false crisis, this problem reaction solution, as they call it, and now it's starting to show up, and you're starting to see what's really going on with the drug war. It's a fake. It's a fraud. I mean, when they have a war on something, it always gets worse. Because somebody's making money on both sides. And that's all there is to it. The Beverly Hills, here's another article. Beverly Hills City Council is the first local government to ban fracking in California. The wider city of Los Angeles is considering similar legislation. This already has been done in New York State. Russia Today, May 7th. And they should stop it. Look at Oklahoma. Every day they're having one or more 2.5 earthquakes because of fracking. And it's just every day. And if they start doing that in California along that fault line, they may set off the big one doing that fracking out there. And in New York City, well, New York City sits on the fault line too. And if they start fracking near that fault line that runs through New York City, well, we could have the first devastating earthquake of New York City. Anyways, next video, Syria. U.S.-backed rebels lost their stronghold in Homs, a key city in the war, and made a deal with President Assad to leave the area in exchange for food and provisions. Assad is expected to win a third term in office, an election to be held next month. In response, the U.S. has increased its funding to the rebels for Assad's overthrow. Yahoo, May 7th. And see, that's the whole thing. These rebels aren't rebels at all. They're mercenaries. They come from Europe and other places, and they're mercenaries. They're hired guns that go in there and take down a country. It's unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Okay. The Marshall Islands, where nuclear bomb tests were conducted in the U.S. from 1946 to 1958, is suing the U.S. and 8 other nuclear-armed countries for continuing to manufacture nuclear weapons instead of complying with the Non-Proliferation Treaty. U.S. courts have awarded over $2 billion to the Marshall Islands for cleanup and damages, but have paid only $150 million, claiming that the compensation fund has been exhausted. The lawsuit will be tried at the UN. News Australia posted May 6th. See, nuclear power. I mean, Fukushima should be a wake-up call. When you have at least 3 reactors, now they're saying all 4 went down and melted. 2 of them are definitely in the ground underneath the Fukushima reactor at Daiichi plant. And it's just polluting the water underneath the ground and the aquifers. Japan's in trouble. They really are. And they need some type of solution, but there isn't a solution because they let technology get ahead of solutions to technology that goes wrong. Okay. Video. U.S. will apply a new law, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, or FATCAT, or it should have a T on the end there, FATCAT, as a political weapon against Russia because of the conflict in Ukraine and Crimea. The purpose of the law is to catch Americans stashing money in foreign accounts to dodge U.S. taxes. FATCA authorizes the IRS to search American accounts held in foreign banks, insurance companies, and pension funds. U.S. banks now will be required to withhold a 30% tax on payments to Russian financial institutions. This could be more damaging to Russia than U.S. sanctions. Russia, of course, will retaliate. AP, May 6th. Just keep an eye on it. This is not right. They're just doing all the wrong things to the world right now. I mean, America is in its death throes, and it's like Ebola virus. It's shaking and it's throwing its disease all over the planet right now and infecting others, or affecting others, I should be saying. Star video, something to keep. Dr. Peter Giddin, BSND, discusses a 12-year study that showed chemotherapy has 97% failure rate. I could have told you that. I think I've even mentioned that chemotherapy and radiation is not a cure for cancer. Natural herbs and things are a cure for cancer, not this poison. Let's fight fire with fire. Let's poison the system to cure the system of poisons of cancer or whatnot. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand why this is failure, but it makes great money to the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors. Lots of money to be made. He explains that doctors' only motive in prescribing chemotherapy is to make money. See? He also says that daily psyllium supplements could decrease breast cancer cases by 82%, but there is no money in that for the cancer industry. iHealth Tube, May 5th. You gotta check this out. I mean, this is telling you the truth. Psyllium is the cure, 82% preventative cure for breast cancer. Preventative cure. Wow. And they won't want that because you can't make money off of that. When you can make $1,000 pill out of synthetics, why make something natural that you can get somewhere in nature because you're not going to make any money off of it. It's all about the money. It's called money junkies. These guys are hooked on money. The more they make, the more their high gets. And when you cut it off, just like a heroin addict, they have withdrawal symptoms. Oh yeah, it's a lot. Anyways, video. An Albuquerque City Council meeting was overtaken by protesters who were outraged over 3 recent killings by police and excessive force at protests. Citizens rushed the bench, causing some council members to flee along with Gordon Eden, Albuquerque's chief of police. The people pick up like pitchforks and torches and start racing at you because you're evil. What are you going to do? You're going to run because you know you're in the wrong. KOB4, May 5th. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what we need to be doing. It's more of, we're not going to stand for it. We're going to get up out of our seats. We're going to go to our windows. We're going to open them up and go scream at the top of our voice. We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. And that's what we all should be doing, to stop these criminals in government and stuff who got in there saying that I'm going to do good for all of you, and then they just do good for themselves. You see how that works. Anywho, 5 banks are being sued by investors for collusion to illegally take advantage of their privileged position while setting the market price of gold. The court will examine evidence that these banks sent vital information to their trading desk while price negotiations were underway, which gave them an opportunity to get the jump on all other traders. Kind of like inside trading, isn't it? New York Times, May 5th. Yeah, this is that's illegal, and you can't be doing that. Not the way they're doing it, because you didn't get informed if you was in on that. If you're just an average citizen trying to invest in gold, oh no. Okay, video. The U.S. House of Representatives is forming a select committee to investigate the Benghazi scandal with the power to subpoena high-level officials, including the president. Democrats are expected to refuse to participate. Oh, we're above the law. We're above all the people that put us in office. We are their lords over them because they put us here. No, you are our servants, our slave. You're supposed to do as you're told, not the other way around. I hope this sends a message to them that they've gone too far in what they do. Video, it must be seen as far as I'm concerned. Florida, lawmakers ban biometric data collection in schools in order to protect children's privacy. That's interesting. That's a thumbs up for somebody in the lawmakers. WLRN posted May 4th. And the Darko Petroleum to pay $5.15 billion to settle pollution case. U.S. Justice Department says the company was fined because it bought the Curl-McGee company that caused contamination across 11 states for over 85 years, including pollution of Lake Mead. Ooh, wow. As large as the judgment was, it is minimal compared to the damage caused. Well, yeah, and if they're making, say, $20 billion a year, I mean, $5.15 billion is like, that's just like a traffic ticket to them. No biggie. They're paid up and continue doing what they're doing. Washington Post, May 4th. Okay, Indiana. First case of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS, found in U.S. Saudi Arabian man has been quarantined to prevent the spread of the disease. MERS has killed about 1/3 of its victims, over 100 people worldwide. Mashhaba, May 3rd. Odessa, Ukraine. U.S.-backed Kiev protesters firebombed a building in which more than 30 pro-Russian supporters took refuge from the mob. They were burned alive in the building. U.S. media is claiming that the victims were snipers, but there is no evidence that this is true. Snipers likely would have fired into the crowd and shot their way out of the attack. Ron Paul Institute, May 3rd, and it probably is so. Probably would have done that. But You see how our government sits there and says, they're the evil ones, we're the good ones, we're the good people, they're bad. And that's that type of thinking that got us into all these world wars and everything. Yeah. Our government is just as corrupt as any of them that they're pointing the finger at, if not more corrupt. Georgia's health freedom law will go into effect in July, banning participation in several provisions of Obamacare. The state will not build an insurance exchange, promote Obamacare, or expand Medicare. TAC, May 3rd. And, well, it will go into effect in July. Georgia's doing the right thing. I wish that was in every state, so we could put this to bed, this government-ran healthcare system, which is a failure from the get-go. The program wasn't ready to be launched. It has been launched now after being repaired, the first part of it. The second part doesn't work, which is getting an actual insurance, and so on and so forth. It doesn't work on the internet. But you can call up and spend 3 or 4 hours with a insurance representative signing in and paying twice as much as what you were paying before. It's the most amazing thing I ever seen. It is. This is like this video. This is an asterisk. It says the most amazing globe balancer. And you can watch this and see this guy putting these globes on and just be amazed. Here's our analysis for this week. Reports and commentaries that look beyond the news to identify historical facts and trends that help to place the news into perspective. First up, video. Judge Napolitano explains that if the U.S. sends soldiers or federal agents to Nigeria to rescue 276 kidnapped girls, it would be the legal equivalent of an invasion. Nigeria does not want the U.S. to intervene. To do so would be to violate that country's sovereignty and set the precedent for other nations to send their agents to the U.S. to administer justice if they feel the U.S. is not doing so. Fox News, May 8th. Yeah, they'll just open it up to, we'll have foreign entities over here prosecuting Americans. And we don't want that. Plus, I think they're trying to get in a war with them anyways, because there's minerals over there to take. There's oil and stuff. There's stuff to steal. Well, you think they want to go there. Anyways, this analysis by Zero Hedge concludes that Putin was playing global politics when he recommended that pro-Russian separatists postpone the referendum until after the Ukraine's presidential election. It is almost certain that this was merely for show, knowing full well that the leaders of the separatists who are obedient to Putin would hold the referendum exactly as planned. With this ploy, Putin creates the impression that he is not in control of the separatists and that he is a man of peace and restraint. Brilliant strategy on his part. Zero Hedge, May 8th. And, Putin's been playing the gentleman game of chess, while everybody else has been playing, Texas Hold'em and whatever, and going wild with the cards. Anyways, he played a beautiful game of chess so far. And it's working. They play chess. That's their thing. That was the end of the news for this week. Here are the great photos. You just have to share some of these. Enchanted Shore. Click to enlarge. This would make a nice wall mural in an office, behind your desk or whatever. And that'd be kind of nice to have behind your desk. Things as big as your wall behind you. Yeah, that would be nice. Anyways, humor. This is the Unfiltered News. Humor, and it shows why I still read newspapers. These are just the beginning. Diana was still alive hours before she died. Bugs flying around with wings are flying bugs. That's the people that got in there doing the headlines and stuff. I mean, these are coming from our school systems from the last 10 years, and you could see how it paid off. all that money you gave to the schools. Statistics show that teen pregnancy drops off significantly after age 25. Well, I think it would drop off significantly at age 20 because you're no longer a teen. Anyway, okay, this box movers are in for a big surprise. Click and enjoy. Another one. Unfiltered form. Smaller power systems the answer to solar flares. Yes, probably so, because they're not able to generate enough EMP in them because they're local. They're not stretched over miles of wires that pick up a big charge and send it straight into your house and blow everything up. Yeah, every electric device plugged in the wall will probably, it'll arc over your off switch, so it's going to blow out your systems anyways. I mean, I have a friend, his TV wasn't on. Lightning struck a pole that wasn't grounded properly out in Kansas, and so it sent a charge and blew up his TV. It was off. Yep. Jumped the off switch and flooded the system with high electricity from the lightning strike. Okay, that's it for this week. Besides just checking out the Reality Zone Classifieds. And don't forget the books on the right and on the left. World Without Cancer on the left. Science and Politics of Cancer. The Silver Lung System. The shower that removes chlorine from your city water, if you got city water. Cancer, the Forbidden Cures. Excellent video. The Creature from Jekyll Island and other things. And it's now 5 o'clock. Eastern Time. Eastern Daylight Time, I should say. Here today. On May the 3rd, or May the 9th, well, today's the 10th. I didn't get around to making this video till today, Saturday. So I hope you all enjoy your weekend, and hope you have a wonderful next week. It's going to be storming and raining for next few days. I think we get a break Sunday and Monday. I think it returns again. We get a kind of break, partly cloudy and then light showers. Light rain. Well, that's all I have to say for this week, and that's all there is for the news from the Unfiltered News. Until next time, be good or be good at it, and have a wonderful day.